So does that mean are people are Oh, hello. I guess that means we're live. Hello, people of Facebook, and welcome to NPR Live. We interrupt this leisurely scrolling evening of yours for some important programming. We're out here in Philadelphia at the Eastern State Penitentiary. Also home of Terror Beyond the Wall.
Terror Behind the Wall.
Behind, Miss Scusi. The first of many scary clarifications. I'm here with Amy and Lauren. If you guys would introduce yourselves.
Sure. I'm Amy Holloman. I'm the creative director here at Terror Behind the Walls at Eastern State Penitentiary.
And I'm Lauren Palmer. I'm the makeup director here at Terror Behind the Walls.
And I'm Alexi Horowitz-Ghazi. I'm a producer at NPR, and we are delighted and terrified to be here. So thanks for having us. Maybe just to start, if you could kind of describe a little bit of what's going on, what's happening around us.
Sure. Well, we're getting ready for an amazing show tonight. This is show number 23 of our season. And right behind you, you can see we've got a zombie nurse, Lewis.
It's Lewis.
And that's Justin, the commander of the zombie SWAT team.
He's commander.
So what's really interesting about Terror Behind the Walls, well, you can see right now Lauren's actually going to transform me while we're doing this Facebook Live video.
Right.
Yes.
What's really cool about Terror Behind the Walls, if you come visit Lewis's attraction, which is the first in the show, you have to make a critical decision. Every single visitor has to decide if they want to opt in for the more intense experience. Lewis, what happens if they opt in for the more intense experience?
If you opt in, you get a glow necklace around your neck to let the actors know that you're opted in for the more intense experience. After that, our nurse will ask you if you want blood for your face for the photo. It's nice for the photo. You see your blood come down. That's why we call it the bloodline. Bloodline, yes.
So it's kind of like a menu.
Right. You get to make the decision, sort of design your scare your own way. If you wear the tracking device or glow necklace, like Lewis said, that means you could be grabbed, you could be taken down dark corridor, you could be separated from your friends and the people that you came here with. But if you get too scared at any point in time, you can take off the glow necklace, and if you're really scared, it's mostly children do this, but some adults do it, where they'll say if the zombies are coming at you and they're really scary, you can say, "Monster be good!
Monster be good!"
Monster be good! And they'll back down and leave you alone. So Terror Behind the Walls has a little bit of something for everybody. Right. Ages 7 and up, and it can get really intense for the adults if that's what they want.
What's the youngest who's ever wandered through these hallowed halls?
7 years old. So we say between the ages of 7 to 12, it's up to the parent to decide if that kid can handle it. And I've seen some kids come through here and they're like, "I'm tough, I can take it." And they're like not scared at all, and their mom is behind them or dad is like, freaking out. So it really depends. Fear is one of those things that's really interesting. It sort of affects people in all different ways.
So Lauren, just before we get too deep into this masterpiece you're working on, could you describe what our game plan is here? Who's this character? What do we have to do to make?
So this is one of Terror Behind the Walls inmates, and our inmates have been fighting, they have gone crazy, and they are all cut up and bruised. So we've added a couple wounds to her face, and we've dissolved them down into her face so that they look natural, and now I'm about to pale out her skin.
All right. For that freshly dead look?
Freshly dead look, yep, and also to make sure that they are seen in the show really well, so they're paled out a little bit when it's dark and stroby.
How long have you been doing this zombie makeup?
This is my 10th season at Terror Behind the Walls and my 5th season as the director. So I've been doing zombie makeup for over 10 years, but we really have vamped up the show since I started, and we started adding prosthetics into the show, and actually our team makes all of the prosthetics pretty much that you see in the show.
Cool. Well, they look good.
Thank you.
They look real. So maybe could you kind of walk us through a little bit of horror makeup theory? Like, what are the things that really scare people? What are the features you want to accentuate? What's terrifying about the human face
Great.
that you can bring out?
So we like to sync back everybody's contour areas, anywhere that the face shape would naturally sink back. We like to sink that back and really protrude the bone shape. We also always add bruising and blood because people are very scared of blood. So
Right. Illness, but all sorts of bodily threats.
yeah, some of our characters have boils and different types of infections, like our nurse here. We also create a lot of custom zombie brows here, like this is a silicone encapsulated zombie brow on our SWAT.
Yeah.
See that?
Get some of the fine grain detail. Yeah.
And they're
That's
highly
a custom
photographed.
pustule, right?
Yes, they're all custom prosthetics.
Where do you get the inspiration?
Inspiration comes from a group of us. There's a creative team, and we sit down starting in March, and we just start brainstorming ideas, and we come together and we decide that, hey, this is what we want our zombie to look like in this attraction. And then I come together with 2 of my team members, and we sit down and kind of hatch it out and start sculpting and make molds, and then go from there. Just run a lot of prosthetics. Actually, almost over 4,000 prosthetics for a season.
4,000.
Yeah.
Can you recycle some of those, or is it like ground up?
No, they go into the trash for sanitary purposes.
One-time use only.
All right. So if one wanted to dumpster dive and get some cool gear for their Halloween outfit, no, I'm just kidding.
No.
Don't do that.
We don't recommend it.
We don't recommend that. But if they do want to see this quality makeup, I've always been impressed with Lauren designs with her team all the looks so that each night the show can be consistent. So if you're going to go see the zombie SWAT team, whether they're abducting you or doing their dance, they look the same almost every night. And people who come to Terror Behind the Walls, our biggest fans, really connect with the characters. They'll come back year after year and be like, I know that nurse! He scared me last year! And that's something that's really amazing that Lauren's makeup team can achieve those consistent looks.
All right. Thank you. And feel free to spray at will.
Yeah.
Try and dodge.
So I'm just contouring her cheeks and her clavicles and the temple area and just sinking back her natural face shape right now.
Right. The clavicle is a notorious tough spot in the zombie makeup game.
Yes.
That's a tell. So Amy, who comes through here? Who's your clientele?
Well, we have over 100,000 visitors in a season. We have people from all different states, all of the states, I should say. Tickets have been purchased by, and 37 different foreign countries. We have people of all ages. People come with their friends, they come with family. Sometimes they come to Terror Behind the Walls on their first date.
Does that bode
Or
well?
on their wedding night.
It goes great. Yeah, it goes great because they're scared. They have to hold on to each other. They make this immediate connection. They have memories that'll last forever. And we've had people come back who ask, hey, can I set up a secret proposal? And we've done some cool stuff for them. 2 weeks ago, we had a whole wedding party come here as their reception. They said that the couple comes every year. They love Terror Behind the Walls. So they brought their whole wedding party to come through the show for their reception. And I know the bride got pulled away into some of those experiences because she wore the red glow necklace. And I think I saw Justin, at the end of the night, the bride and groom got pulled into a special dance with the SWAT team, like a dance battle.
Yes, they did.
Like a wedding dance with the zombie SWAT team. Okay. That's dedication.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of big fans. Terror Behind the Walls is in its 26th season. So there's people who have literally grown up going to Terror Behind the Walls. And some of them love terror so much that when they turn 18, they audition to work here and become one of our zombies.
That's right.
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, how did you guys get hooked into this game? This lifestyle, I guess.
Well, I started with the show 12 years ago. I was working in Philadelphia with an AmeriCorps program, and I needed some extra cash, and I'd been to Terror Behind the Walls and thought it was cool, and figured it was a nighttime only job. So I came and auditioned. I remember trying to make scary faces in the mirror. I think especially women, we're not often encouraged to be intimidating and scary. So I just remember looking in the mirror and being like, And I was like, I really hope I get this job. And next thing I know, they were like, great, you're going to be a zombie guard. We're going to put a gigantic bolt over your eye, and you're going to send people into the 13 rooms, which by now is an attraction that's been long replaced because each year we had something new to Terror Behind the Walls. So I started as an actress. The next year I became assistant manager of attraction. Lewis, this nurse right here, was one of my actors. He's risen up the ranks and now manages that bloodline. And eventually I became the creative director. And now I oversee our creative team with Lauren, our costume team with Elisa, our tech crew with James, and our director of operations, Brett. So I've sort of risen my way up this empire. And I couldn't be happier because it is the coolest and scariest empire to lead. Hey guys, can I ask you a question? Yes. Lean in. What time is it?
Terror time.
Terror time here at Terror Behind the Walls. Hashtag Terror time.
Check us out.
Facebook Live is loving us.
Yeah, it's all over this. All right, that sounds. So you're kind of like you've risen. You're in the Iron Throne of this area now.
Yeah, except if I'm in the Iron Throne. Good job. Yeah.
That's Timothy.
Good job. Team.
That's Will.
That's Will.
He's from an attraction called Breakout. That's the finale of the show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We were talking about this a little bit before, but who are some of the more illustrious figures who you've drawn to the attraction?
Oh, well, we actually have a good amount of celebrities that come through the show. One of our favorites was Guillermo del Toro, the famous horror director. And we've also had some, last year we had the classic celebrity Wayne Newton come through the show. That was pretty cool. We've had people film in Eastern State. Tina Turner shot a music video here, Beanie Siegel. And we have a lot of different people come all the time to see Terror Behind the Walls. Actually, there's some of their names that are slipping my mind right now, but we have a lot of big friends who want to come out and see the show.
You were saying some Persian royalty potentially?
Yeah, there was a royalty group that showed up last year, a bunch of SUVs. I believe they were from Iran. And they went through the show. They had a great time because Terror Behind the Walls is the biggest haunted house in the country outside of any major theme park. So if people are here in Philadelphia, which if you didn't know, that's the 5th biggest city in the country, they're going to come to Philadelphia's Terror Behind the Walls. We run 31 show nights throughout the fall. So I tell people if they live anywhere near Philly, they have to make 31 excuses not to come. Yeah, and right now we're in night number 23 and we still have 8 shows left. We're open every night from now through Halloween. And we even open up 2 nights in November. November 4th and 5th for a show we call the Remix! And that's where we turn all the lights out in the prison. You get 1 glow stick and you get to walk through and the monsters still lunge out at you and scare you, but it's in complete darkness.
So Lauren, did you grow up knowing that you would be making zombies come alive?
I think yes. I started making characters probably when I was 3 years old. I've always been into theater, always been into Halloween, costume creating. And then I went to film school and decided, wow, I really like doing special effects makeup. So after film school, I went to the makeup designery in New York, and I have been hustling in the makeup industry ever since.
Cool. What are your some of your inspirations within maybe the film or horror character universe who you draw upon time after time?
Well, that's a really good question. I guess I really like a lot of them, but I sort of draw towards big character and fantasy a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome when Guillermo came because one of our attractions, it's our outdoor attraction. It's our 3rd of the 6 attractions at Terror Behind the Walls. It's called Detritus. And it's sort of these abandoned gardens where there's fantastic, horrific creatures, where there's a cattle skull that's mixed with insect arms. And we have a shaman there and all these characters that when we first designed it, we kind of thought about Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes.
And how that's a movie Lauren and I both love. And when Guillermo came, we were like, oh, so cool. He gets to see something like art imitating art. And so we're really proud of that.
Do you think he was scared when he came?
Yes. Guillermo was scared And he actually said a quote with an expletive, but he said that the show was very scary. So that we thought was a pretty big compliment. And he was actually pretty scared. He did not opt in for the more intense experience. He didn't wear the glow necklace. But the other horror film director who was here with him, Mike Darty, who made Trick or Treat, he opted in.
Classic.
Yeah, he opted in. He got pulled away into secret cells, cages. He had to crawl. He had to go through a slide. These are all the kinds of fun things that we do here at Terror Behind the Walls.
Sounds like a good time. Could you tell us a little bit about the prison that we're standing in right now, and what's the kind of larger story here?
Sure. So Terror Behind the Walls lives inside of Eastern State Penitentiary historic site. Eastern State Penitentiary opened in 1829. It was the first prison in the world that was called a penitentiary. It was stepping away from the idea of locking people up and throwing away the key. And actually, Quakers were hoping people would find their inner light and be able to be rehabilitated. It's revolutionary in its design. The radial plan design has been replicated 300 times worldwide.
The Panopticon.
And it would close down in 1971. Before then, it housed famous inmates such as Al Capone or Slick Willie Sutton, the bank robber. When it closed in 71, it sat for about 20 years and decayed. And you can imagine, since it was built in the 1800s, a lot of the cell blocks were crumbling. An urban jungle grew in between the front gates and the internal buildings. You had to use a machete to chop your way through the building. In 1991, the city put a call out for proposal saying, what should we do with this 11-acre property with its 30-foot Gothic-style walls? And the group that won was an interpretive group. They said, we want to make this a museum. We want to... Thank you, guys. Monster Be Good for a second. They said, we want to make it a museum. We want people to learn about the history of this building. It's important to the history of America, and we want people to be able to step in and see the world-renowned architecture. To me, this is a gem. And right here in the United States of America, you can step in and understand this. So today, we're open as a museum. Every day, year-round, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., visitors come from all over the world to learn about the history of this building. And we also have a brand new exhibit called Prisons Today, when you can learn about contemporary corrections and what's going on today. Now, what I didn't tell you yet is that Terror Behind the Walls exists only to raise money so that the museum can run year-round. Terror Behind the Walls, like I said, has so many visitors that come. All the proceeds generate 65% of the year-round operating budget for the museum. So I sometimes like to say, it's a necessary evil.
All right, I can get on board with that, I guess.
Yeah, it's all for a good cause.
Fair enough. Does it ever feel weird, like having something so terrifyingly lighthearted in a place where there's just real tragedy or real kind of heaviness that in the structure?
I'd say that we try to be really careful. We never have someone in the show who is a real person who ever lived or worked here. Like, you'll never hear an inmate say, oh, like a zombie say, I'm Al Capone, because Al Capone was a real person who spent time
real
here.
Real feelings.
Exactly, and we don't want to mock that. We do want to raise money so that the important mission can be forward year-round. So it's a fine line, and our goal is just to entertain people. We never want to traumatize people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that seems like the right.
Cool.
Right,
and what
right.
else is cool, even if people are coming from outside of the city, say they've never been to Eastern State Penitentiary, and they do want to learn about both the history and see the haunted house, they can actually pay a little extra to go on our VIP After Dark tour, where it's a flashlight guided tour. You learn about the history of Eastern State Penitentiary. You learn a little bit more about the scandal than you'd hear about in the daytime. And then once that's done, you get brought to the front of the line so you can enter Terror Behind the Walls. People love that. They love getting the history and the entertainment. And afterwards, sometimes they need to cool down a little bit because their hearts are racing. They've been screaming. They've been smiling. So that's when they go to our speakeasy at Al Capone's cell. And that's just a place where there's some curious adventures. There's a fortune teller, a blackjack dealer, and there's singers who sing lounge songs like "You Give Me Fever," "I Put a Spell on You," and the singers will blow your mind. Not only have they have beautiful voices, but they're characters. And you get a complimentary beverage as well. So sometimes that'll chill the nerves a little.
Right. Mine are running high. We've been drinking a lot of energy drinks out here. There's been some techno playing.
Yeah.
It's a nice, warm, convivial atmosphere.
Is Esther in the house?
Green room. Maybe if you could kind of break down what happens in the green room back here. What are the different stations? What type of monsters do we have?
Great.
Casey, will you get her?
We call 14 makeup artists and one hairstylist every night, and we put about approximately 180 actors through the room in about 2.5 to 3 hours. So as you can tell, that's quite a bit, very fast. Some people get 20 minutes in the chair, some people get 3 minutes in the chair, but we really pump them out. And we use a lot of airbrush here to help the process go faster, but we also put prosthetics on almost everybody in the show, so everybody can have 3D looks to them.
So I saw we had some sort of skull and bone shaman character before. We can have some, I don't know what those are. What are those?
Those are some of our ghoul masks. And
Those are the ghouls.
ghouls. We do have a very awesome shaman this year that wears a full face prosthetic and a headdress. That is a pretty impressive character. But we also have cuts, and we have boils, and we have zombie brows, we have ripped open faces. And
What's your favorite, accessory? Are you kind of a boil person? Are you more of like a skull, a clown fan?
well, let's see. I actually have a favor for zombie brows because I actually sculpted them, and so it's really nice to be able to paint them.
Is this a zombie brow?
This is a zombie brow, yes.
How
So
do
it
those-
has the protruded bone shape and sink it back.
Would you like to teach your own?
I would, if that would be possible. So when you guys are scouting talent, one last thing. When you guys are scouting talent, what's the process? You call out to the good people of Philadelphia. What do you say, and how do you know when you found a real star?
Well, when we cast here for Terror Behind the Walls, we're only looking for the best. We run 31 show nights. You got to have a lot of energy, stamina. You have to love Halloween.
It's like the presidency.
Yeah, I guess.
So what are you looking for when you're in that audition room? Do you want like a signature sound? Do you want somebody to have an interesting face that'll work with the makeup, accentuate certain details? What are we thinking of those things?
Well, since we have 300 staff members, 200 of them get into costume makeup every night. So we're looking for a variety of skills. We need actors who can be fast. We need some that can be intimidating. We need some that have special skills like stilt walkers, puppetry. We have all different types of talents it takes here at Terror Behind the Walls. Some people make crazy noises like this. And some can say... Yeah, and some deliver very clever lines, like telling you to watch out for the infection. If it gets inside of you, you'll start to hallucinate. So all different types of skills, because a big show like this, it really takes a huge team, as much talent as you can get.
All right. And my last question is kind of, what service are you guys providing? Or maybe let's talk about fear a little bit.
Okay.
Why do you think people are coming out here? The world's a plenty of scary place as it is. Why are people coming here to scare themselves more? Mm-hmm. And why do you guys keep doing it? What's driving you?
Well, Terror Behind the Walls is a form of entertainment. And when the world is sort of having these scary moments, entertainment and art is more important than ever. People need a chance to break out of their normal routines. They need a chance to be submerged into a fantasy world, and they can do that here at Terror Behind the Walls. They don't have to worry about picking up the kid from school. They don't have to worry about their boss nagging on them. For 1 hour, they get to step into this fantasy. They have to try to escape, and what they love about it is they know it's safe. It's a safe type of scary. They know when they come here to Terror Behind the Walls, they are going to leave unscathed. They're going to have a fun time. They're going to bond with the friends that they came with. And ultimately, there's no better Halloween experience than coming here to Eastern State Penitentiary in the fall.
All right. So come to feel safe. That's what I've done.
Yeah, come. Feel safe. know you're safe, but feel very scared.
And quickly, why do you keep doing it? What's the pleasure in scaring?
Well, I think it's getting an immediate reaction out of someone is awesome. Just like comedians love to make people laugh, we love to make people scream. But the funnest moment is when you see people smiling and leaving the building saying, "That was awesome."
That's right.
All right.
Yes.
We want to make people happy, and if we can use this form of entertainment to do that while raising money for this important National Historic Landmark, I don't know what could be a better combination.
Well, stay safe out there, guys. And if you don't feel safe, come here. Come join us.
Oh yeah, can I tell people about the website?
Yeah.
Can I tell them about the website?
You're on the web anyway, guys.
Get
Get
us
over
on
there.
the
Just
web.
open up a tab
Mike.
and go.
EasternState.org. Check us out. You can learn both how to visit for daytime and nighttime. EasternState.org. And our hashtag is Terror Time. Terror Time.
Prison Industrial Amusement. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us out there on Facebook. We are here at Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia. Terror Behind the Walls. Here with Amy and Lauren. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I'm Alexi with NPR. Have a safe but delectably terrifying night.
One of us!